The censorship machine. SAVAKs control over Iranian media. In the Shah's Iran, the illusion of progress and stability was carefully maintained, not just through military force, but through absolute control of information. Newspapers, radio, television, books, and even poetry were all subject to the iron grip of SAVAK, the secret police that ensured no voice of dissent could be heard. This was not just a campaign of suppression. It was a full-scale operation to rewrite reality itself. Journalists were among the first targets. Any reporter who dared to criticize the monarchy or question government policies quickly found themselves under surveillance. Editors were summoned for friendly meetings with SAVAK officials, where they were given strict guidelines on what could and could not be published. A single misstep, a negative article, an unapproved interview, or even an implication of corruption could result in a newspaper being shut down overnight. Many journalists were arrested, some disappeared, and others chose exile over imprisonment. Books were no exception. Publishing houses faced heavy scrutiny, and manuscripts had to pass through government censors before they could see the light of day. SAVAK agents worked within the Ministry of Culture, redacting sections of novels, banning entire works, and blacklisting authors who were deemed subversive. Even historical books had to align with the Shah's vision of Iran. Any work that contradicted his narrative was either destroyed or altered. Writers who resisted found their careers ruined, their passports revoked, and in some cases, their lives threatened. Music, film, and theater were also closely monitored. Songs with political undertones were banned from radio stations, and musicians who sympathized with leftist or nationalist movements were silenced. In cinema, scripts had to be approved before filming began, ensuring that only government-approved messages made it to the screen. Films that glorified the monarchy and modernization were promoted, while those that depicted social struggles or class divisions were shut down. Beyond direct censorship, SAVAK controlled the spread of foreign information. Western books and newspapers were selectively allowed, ensuring that only content that supported the Shah's rule reached the public. Foreign correspondents were kept under close watch, and any report that painted Iran in a negative light could result in the expulsion of the journalist or the banning of their media outlet from the country. Despite the overwhelming power of SAVAK's censorship machine, resistance continued. Underground publications, secret poetry readings, and smuggled books kept dissent alive. Iranians found ways to bypass the restrictions, listening to banned radio stations and passing illicit pamphlets among trusted circles. The harder SAVAK tried to silence the people, the more determined they became to speak. By the time the revolution began, the cracks in the censorship machine were impossible to ignore. The Iranian people had grown tired of the lies, the propaganda, and the suffocating control over their lives. And when the Shah's regime fell, one of the first acts of the revolutionaries was to tear down the institutions that had kept them silent for so long. But the scars left by SAVAK's control over Iranian media would remain, a dark reminder of how dangerous it is when a government fears the truth.